Good evening, guys. Hello.
Hello, everybody. For two people watching.
Very warm welcome to our show. You are very welcome.
You are very welcome.
Like the idea that you are with us. So we're going to do our usual, just chat amongst ourselves while the chat room fills up a little bit, because we've already had a good chat off air, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Very interesting. We've just actually something we're going to talk about a little later on. The Gaz has got some really good stuff on. Yeah, we literally nearly missed the live bit. We'd have been nattering away and we would have gone live.
Mark had to tell me to shut up.
Shut up! Go live, man. That was so funny. It was getting quite really intriguing what Gaz was telling me. I was like, oh, okay. Oh shit! Oh, we've got to go live. You know.
Yeah, we do get carried away. We do.
Let's just check. I'll just check that we are live on all platforms, as they say. Yeah, we are live on the YouTube. Yeah, God, those handsome devils! Look at them. And we are live on Face Fast. Yeah. My goodness. Yeah.
Oh no, mate. It's great fun about 4 or 5 in the morning. It's brilliant.
So good evening, Terry. Oh, who we got here? Yeah, we've got Terry Ann. Good evening, Terry Ann.
Hi, Terry Ann.
Thank you
for joining us.
She's lovely. We have a laugh, don't we, love? We have a laugh. Yeah, she's great. Hi, Mark Gasner. Hi, Rick. One of our lovely contributors. Who's another one who writes very smart comments.
Oh yes. You like Rick. Rick's back up.
Paranormal biker.
Yeah, like Ghost Rider, mate. That's what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Carries on that. He bloody will be.
Yeah, how'd you know it's a real bicycle? How'd you know?
Oh, mate, honestly, it's so annoying. Hi, Alfie. How you doing?
Alfie, hey! Boom, boom, boom. How you doing? All right. Love it.
Great to see you guys in here.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. We're just filling in. We're doing a kind of chill version of the show tonight, you know, because normally, hi, Nate. How you doing, mate? You're here.
Come on, Nate. Sort it out, sir. Sort it out.
No, normally we're doing like furious research all week for the show and stressing ourselves out and that. So this week we kind of said to ourselves, right, we're going to do a little bit more relaxed. We're going to talk about our experiences within the paranormal. I mean, myself and Mark, we've probably got combined investigating. What do you reckon, Mark? How many years between the two of us?
Between the two of us, well, I started seriously. I mean, I've been doing it, sort of researching and being interested in the subject since the 80s, but doing it actually out in the fields, a little bit in the early 90s. Then I had a break. I was working in America, and then I sort of mid 2000s, I sort of got back into it again, and been doing it since then. So I always really say since 2006, 2005, so 17 years, sort of. Is that right? 17 years? Yeah, 16, 17
Something
years.
like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I've been weird since. I don't remember.
Sorry, I've been weird.
People will vouch for that fact. But no, I used to do my paper round. I remember as a kid, and spend it on Unexplained magazine.
Yeah, Unexplained magazine, fantastic. Still got them somewhere.
Oh, I couldn't get enough of it. You know, I couldn't wait to give all the money I'd earned that week, which was I think about £3.95 for 7 days paper round.
Yeah,
and I'd get me Unexplained magazine and a couple of bars of chocolate, and I'd love every minute of it. So I was hooked.
Yeah.
And then, as I've said before, Arthur C. Clarke's Mysterious World.
That really was the door opener for me. That really was the door opener.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Nath. Absolutely.
I shot my feature film Return to Ravenswood in 2005, and I can't get my head how long ago. Well, it's not that long ago, but yeah, 2005. That came out in 2006. Yeah, it's a long 2004. Yeah, I was very prolific as a filmmaker back then, on a very small scale. Nothing grand. It wasn't Hollywood, but yeah. Wow. It's interesting looking back. Although I really like to look forward. For goodness' sake, look who's joined us. Hello, beautiful.
Hi, Mandy. You're right, sweetheart. How you doing? Definitely, Alfie.
Oh God, we had great at Betchworth Castle. It was a lovely evening when we did that. It was one of our videos online now. That was really interesting. What great company! Great company. Yeah, yeah. Let's do. Yeah,
I'm getting itchy feet. I need to get it done. I need to get something organised.
What? You're hungover? I think I had a bit too much wine last night. I'll do it. Why are you hungover, dear? Oh, we'll speak quieter. We'll speak quieter.
No, we won't.
Mandy's here again. I'm off. Oh, she gets so much grief because we all love her.
Bless her. Hi, Pauline.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was. That's good.
Yeah. Pauline's joined us.
You're very good company, Alf. Very enjoy him. Very enjoy him. So. Hi, Pauline. Nice to see you.
So yes, getting back to right. You've got an excuse then. You're okay.
Oh, sorry. I was at a cousin. Oh, right. Okay.
So yeah, we're getting back to what old farts me and Mark are and how long we've been into it. It's we can't say we talk with any authority on the subject because the subject itself is just opinion.
Yeah.
But we have experienced probably virtually every facet of what goes on an investigation or a public event or whatever it is you want to call it. You know, there's different types. Hi, Andrew. How you doing? Good to see you here.
In Croatia. Nice to see you, Andrew. Thank you for joining us.
We've got a bit to talk about some of our experiences in the past, and we hope you guys can get involved again. Tell us about what you get up to on a ghost hunt.
If you want to come on, if you've got a webcam, want to come on, please
can do. Yes, it's easy. All you need, you can do it off your phone. You know, if Mark hasn't got you as a friend on Facebook or whatever, he'll just send you an email, give you a link.
I could just put a link in the comments section and then choose who comes on at a certain time. Yeah,
do that. It's great. Come on, chat to us. We're quite.
Hi, Johnny.
Hi, Johnny. How you doing, mate?
Good to see you, mate.
Excellent. Good to see you all here. So, shall we kick off? What do you think?
I think we should kick off with we're starting crop circles. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about let's kick off. Let's kick off, not literally kick off.
Kick off. We are talking ghosties tonight, and that kind of ilk. And I normally do paranormal news about this time, but I thought to myself, right, well, normally I go searching and I stumbled across something, and next thing you know, 3 hours later, I'm still looking at it and other cases related to it. So I thought I'd talk about that a little bit instead. And we're going to have to do a show on this, Mark.
Yes, sir.
Even though it's not your favourite subject, but we are going to have to do a show on it because there is a lot of evidence attached to it. Now, before you all go, which I'm talking about, I'm talking about the poltergeist phenomena. Right now, this is where we hit a bit of a grey area because lots and lots of things are attributed to poltergeists. Now, my understanding, I don't know if yours is different, Mark, or you guys listening, my understanding of a poltergeist haunting or infestation, or whatever it is you want to call it, is that it is usually attached to a person, usually going through puberty, and it's quite short-lived, relatively speaking. Doesn't stick around for very long, a few months, a year at the most, usually. But all this stuff that I was reading today, they're calling, it's a such and such poltergeist, and it's been here for like 12 years or something. Well, you might have what they call poltergeist activity, where things are moved, taps, bangs, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But to me, that isn't a true poltergeist haunting. It may be like a spirit haunting that has got the ability to move objects or bang on things, but not a true poltergeist haunting, which, as I say, is attributed to a person, whereas these other types of hauntings are usually attributed to a location. Are you with me? Okay. So that's what I think anyway, and that's what my research has kind of dug up. You with me on that one, Mark?
I'm totally with you. I think that's a very, very good description, actually. It is a fascinating subject, actually. And you say, interesting. They are sometimes quite short-lived.
Right. Now, there is
if it's to do with puberty.
Freezing.
Oh, do I? Am I
sorry, mate, you froze.
Oh,
you did freeze then.
What was I saying?
A glitch in the Matrix.
A glitch in the Matrix, yeah.
Another one of them, mate.
Absolutely fascinating subject. you say they are short lived. If it is to do with puberty and high motion and things like that.
Yeah. And there is research out there that has tried to attribute this to some kind of PK phenomenon. As I say, it usually centers around a person going through puberty.
Exactly. It's a demon. It's a demon.
Bless it. Not all US. We got to be balanced on that. It's not all US.
No.
Just a lot. And I seem to bump into them regularly. I don't know. It's just me.
You attract them, dear.
Yeah, I seem to. So there is a lot of research going on about that kind of stuff.
Jack Daniels, Jim Boone, some captain called Morgan and a grouse who tells me he's famous. That's brilliant, Johnny.
My type of spirits, mate. I can definitely deal with those. So this research that's going on, they're saying that chemical changes as you're going through puberty, chemical changes in the hypothalamus may cause some kind of PK phenomena, psychokinesis, telekinesis, whatever you want to call it. And the activity that is happening around these people it's them causing it. So the objects moving, things like that. Now, that would be okay if it was consistent in all of these poltergeist hauntings, but that doesn't explain apparitions and things like that are attached to a lot of them. So this is, as I say, this is something we're going to have to look into a little bit deeper. Now, I've heard of the famous ones. Enfield poltergeist is probably the most famous one. Borley Rectory, a lot of poltergeist activity there. I know it's been hyped up beyond belief.
What about 30 East Drive that everyone goes on about?
East Drive, Pontefract, that one, Pontefract, but I did come across quite a few that I hadn't actually heard of before, and they've all got a lot of really compelling evidence attached with them because they were investigated by some of the top people at the time. I'll just give you the quick list. What I'll say, I won't go into it big time now, but we will look at it on a different show because it is worthy of a whole show to itself, this one. The Battersea poltergeist, 1928, that was actually investigated by Harry Price. That one, you know, the guy that investigated Borley Rectory. Did he buy it afterwards before it burned down and investigated?
I think he did. Or he had some sort of financial involvement somewhere. Can anyone help us out with that?
He definitely investigated it for quite a long period of time before it burnt down, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, Harry Price. Now, I don't know if you guys know Harry Price, but he's the guy that we pretty much call the grandfather of paranormal investigations. And his techniques, a lot of his techniques that he used are still being used today. And I like his techniques because there's no ambiguity there. There's no, like all our electronic devices can have interference that affect the results. Whereas his stuff, where he'll sellotape a piece of string, part of it on the door, part of it on the door frame. If someone opens that door, the string will break. You'll know that someone's opened it. Scrunched up newspaper, flour dusted on the floor to see if you get footsteps in it. All that kind of stuff that if you are sure you've locked off a room and you go back an hour later and there's a footprint in that flour and you know nobody's been in there, you can't really argue with that, can you? So I like that kind of investigation. That's something I'd like to do in the future, actually, Mark. Go old school.
Yeah, I'm totally agree with you. Sometimes it's natural. I've always still say, you know, some of the old school methods are, you know, there's no ambiguity, as you say, which is very, very interesting. I think all you need from a modern, I mean, if I go investigate, I take it to my camera and my dowsing rod, and that's it. You know, and I think it works fine for me personally. I think a lot of the equipment is nonsense personally. But yeah, going back to old school way of doing it. And using
we can't argue. Trigger objects, that kind of stuff. You know, like I say, if you can guarantee that no one's gone in that room, and you've put a cross on a piece of paper and drawn around it, you go back an hour later and that cross is shot across the room, you're not going to say, oh, that was traffic vibration or some crap like that. You know, something's happened. So I think it's got its place. Yes, the technology has got its place too, but I think a lot of it is misused. And a lot of credence is put into the results, whereas it should be used as a tool only, in my opinion. So that's that.
Yeah, it's definitely better to use old school stuff. There is a lot less mixed signals and false evidence.
Yeah, exactly. No. So we'll do that. I mean, We will do that.
Pretty much
We
anyway.
will film it. We will film it. So that's
Oh,
probably
you know me. I can't go somewhere and not film it. Yeah.
One of the only bits of electronic equipment we're allowing. But I think that'd be pretty cool to do that. And
I'd even go as far as saying, look, turning our phones off. But that shock horror of people when you say, turn your phone off. Really?
But yeah, I think that. So anyway, that was that's the Battersea Poltergeist in 1928. Then I came across another one, Battersea Poltergeist in 1956. That was big news at the time. The police were involved, fire brigade were involved. Brilliant.
Cheers,
and this went on for 12 years. 12 years this actually went on for, to the point where when the spirit left, the woman went into mourning. She was that used to having him about, so that's a pretty cool one.
Wow. So that person was so used to having whatever presence was within the house. When it disappeared, when it went, it was a shock to the system almost.
Absolutely. And this isn't the odd bang or tap. This is virtually every night. Taps coming from the loft, the walls, all that sort of stuff, to the point where the neighbours could hear it. They talk about they had to, a certain time of the night, they had to go into the kitchen to ride it out because the stuff was happening all over the house. Pots, pans flying around that they used to have to duck. We're talking proper evidence here, and it goes on for 12. There is 12 years documented. A guy, a famous, I can't remember his name, as I say, we'll talk about that, but a quite well respected investigator went to stay with the family, a bit like the Enfield case. And
Maurice Grove, something like him. Was it Maurice Grove?
No, Maurice Gross and Guy Playfair were Enfield. They went to stay at the Enfield. This guy I've never actually heard of, but he was quite well respected back then, apparently. And I was like, wow, I've got to read about this case. I've got to find out a bit more about it. So we'll do a show. We'll include those. But they just went on and on. Enfield Poltergeist, 1977. Borley Rectory, built in 1863. And pretty much from the word go, I mean, even before that, before it was built, there were stories of a nun, a ghost of a nun walking around the grounds, that sort of thing. Still are. Epworth Poltergeist, 1716 to 1717. 1700s we're going back with, like Epworth. Rochdale Poltergeist in 1996. Pontefract Poltergeist from 1966. South Shields Poltergeist in 2005. The Croydon Poltergeist in 1938. And the Birmingham Poltergeist in 1981. So we got...
Ritson. He's the author.
I'm not sure, Sheena, but I've got to research that one a little bit more. I've heard of the case, and somebody said to me that it was actually debunked, but I need to look into that a little bit more. But like I say, I can't say for definite. It's one I'm aware of, but someone said that, that has been looked into and it was a load of rubbish. But, it's still worth looking at, I think. So plenty of meat there on the bone, and we'll have a look into those and see what we can come up with. And if you guys can think of any more that I haven't heard of, you let me know and I'll research them.
I think so, yeah. That would be very interesting, actually. Because all with poltergeists, I mean, I remember going with a medium to chat to a family once. Not that we would do this now. I wouldn't recommend it nowadays. And I was even uncomfortable doing it then. But we found out after a little bit of digging, actually, it was actually an issue of self-harm that was causing the issues. So, we made sure they got in touch with the right authorities and all that kind of thing. And it was fine in the end.
This is the problem with going and doing these private ones. We've said it before.
Yeah.
I didn't realise the SPR got involved in that one, Sheena.
Ah, okay.
Right.
Thank you, Sheena.
Yeah, I'll have to find out. And I'm sure I know somebody that was involved in the case as well. I'm going to have to call in a couple of old favours, I think, and see if I can get them to talk about it with me. Yeah. But yeah.
I mean, there could be so many cases too of people that have gone unreported. Yeah.
Yeah, I
want video evidence. That's my criteria. I want proper good evidence on video.
Yeah, but that's the dichotomy right there, isn't it, mate? It's a double-edged sword. You get the good evidence and say, well, that's too good to be true. It's obviously fake. You know, so
This is the
you
problem.
can't really win.
If you go on YouTube, there's so many videos of activity in people's on a locked off camera. It's always a locked off camera, isn't it? And you can tell it's all been staged. It's so obvious it's staged. And they get thousands and thousands and thousands of hits and people believing it, you know. The Quadrant Podcast sounds like an 80s band to me.
It's a cool band, that would be a cool band name. But yeah, I mean, you got to take each one on their merit, haven't you? You see, as you say, you look on on YouTube, and you see a guy. Oh, I've got lots of activity in my apartment, so I decided to lock off cameras. And there's some on there with the pets, the dogs acting really weird. Doors start to open on their own. Bangs and crashes coming from the kitchen drawers opening, chairs sliding. Yeah. It's doable. Of course it's doable, but we don't know. We weren't there. One of the most credible that I saw, and I'm still to this day trying to work out how he does it or how he did it, if it is faked. Well, he's got this locked off camera in the living room, and you can see out into the kitchen, and you see the knob on the cooker turn, and the ring lights up red hot. I don't know how the hell they staged that or got it to do that. Of course, there's a way.
Easy, yeah.
But
what's going to be watching special effects? Pretty easy, yeah. But yeah, as you quite rightly say, you can't just dismiss them. You've got to say there's a lot of valid reports, especially pre-camera days, pre-domestic camera days. Why will someone make something up, you know, and get some like the Enfield poltergeist, you know, which is an absolutely fascinating story.
Yeah, definitely.
We should do a fact of fate and try to recreate some of these videos we think are fake. Well, one that was on a certain TV show only a couple of years ago, and it was all over the papers that they caught a ghost. And I just debunked it in 2 seconds. Literally, all through the episode, they're doing this with the camera, you know, following action. Then the camera happened to be put down, so it was basically locked off, which means it's just a still picture, and then they did a dissolve. It's so easy to do. Yeah. I won't mention what program.
This is the problem, and it sounds like we try and dump over everything. What we're trying to do is say, look, yeah, it could be paranormal, definitely. But it could also, it's easy to recreate it. If we can't recreate something, then that makes it a lot more credible. So we have to have a degree of healthy skepticism when we're looking at evidence. And people think, oh, we're just naysayers, we're just debunkers. We're not. Because
this is the other side of the coin.
Pardon?
That's a very good point there. We're into the paranormal. We believe in the paranormal. Why would we be interested in the subject if it's going to debunk everything? That's not healthy. But what I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Gaz, I just like to get rid of all the other possible explanations, and then you get to the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because there will always be an alternative explanation. There will always be fakery or some environmental factor that we're not aware of. There's always going to be that. But
is not active. That's just folklore. No, I keep saying I don't think anywhere's haunted. It's everywhere.
I went there a couple of years ago, and I have to say, now I don't get scared. Never get scared on the investigate. I'll go anywhere. But I went there just to say I've been to Pluckley, middle of the bloody night. We ended up in Pluckley Woods, and I've never been such an eerie place in all my life. It's the first woods I've ever been in that was completely silent. There were no creatures, no noises from foxes or rustling in the woods, anything. It was like something out of what's that film that Will Smith did? You know, where it's like he was the last person left alive. It was like,
I
know what I mean. You know what I mean. Anyway, it was like that. It was like deathly quiet, and it was so unnerving. You know, because you expect being outside in a huge woods like that, you're going to hear something. But yeah, it was a bit unnerving. But I don't think I'd like to go there on my own. To be honest, for me to say
iRobot.
iRobot, no, the other one.
No, the other one.
It was taken from the original was called
the original Amiga Man with
I Am Legend.
Heston.
I Am Legend.
Yeah, I Am Legend. Thank you. Yeah, right, Chained to a Ring. That is on. Yeah, I mean, Chained to a Ring has been occupied for thousands of years, and it is high up. Yeah, but also, how can you get evidence outside? It's quite windy up there. What you got to think of? What is apart from a psychic reading, what else are you going to pretty much pick up on? Because of the weather.
Well, that depends on the person, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah.
If you have got that, like Mandy, if you are linked in, if you work on that certain vibratory level, you're going to pick up. You know, if I go up there and I'm right as rain, and all of a sudden I start feeling sick and throwing up or feeling faint or something like that, then yes, there is a rational explanation for that.
What have you had to eat today?
yeah, you've got that part of the explanation. But also, you know, if I walk away and all of a sudden I'm fine, that's one piece of evidence, isn't it? So, you know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go, and I want to see what happens. But that,
I don't think anywhere's haunted. I think these places get hyped and folklore takes over. Why is that more haunted than, I don't know, Canterbury Cathedral? You know,
I don't know. It depends. Like I say, it's that vibrationary level, isn't it? That each individual works on. We all pick up on different things. Some people are they can pick up on bad feelings. I mean, we all do it. We said about it last week, where you walk into a room where two people have had an argument, you think,
you pick out and go, oh,
in here, innit? And it's the same when you go to some of these locations. I've walked in and I thought, I love it here. I could move in tomorrow. I love it. And other times you walk in and it just feels really oppressive and it feels like it wants you out, you know. So I want to see if I get something like that at this particular place.
Yeah, but then we have to believe your testimony. Another bad thing about investigations. Yeah. Sorry, my throat's going. Sorry, everyone. It's totally bloody terrifying. Other people have seen unexplained lights in the trees, felt weird, sudden rushes of air. Is it Chanterbury Rings? Heard branches snapping, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be it. I'm totally up for that. It's not that far. It's only about an hour away, 50 minutes, I think. Bit of a climb up there.
That's really all we can do as investigators, is go by our own personal experiences, because we can have the best experience ever and totally convince ourselves that, right, that is that piece of evidence I needed to prove that there is something to this paranormal. Now, nobody else is going to believe you, not disbelieve you, but they're not going to get that proof from you because they haven't had that experience.
Yeah.
So that's all we can really wish for, isn't it? To go there and get that piece of solid evidence that is going to tell us beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is a real deal. So that's what I'm looking for.
That's why you can't take away people's experiences, personal experiences. Yeah, even if it's glaringly obvious that we think, well, actually, I think it was this that happened, which you can do in a certain kind of way. But yeah, so what's Mandy say? Mandy says, my mum won't let me go there. No, I'll tell her if you do, but she might if you promise to look after me. I'm only 45. We'll hold your hand. Don't worry. Don't worry.
We got your back, Manny. Don't worry.
I love that story. I absolutely love that story. no rolling down the hill.
Definitely got to go. Definitely got to go.
So it's down. Yeah, I've always wanted to go there. I've never actually been there. I've been to the other one, Sisbury Ring, which I also thinking, well, if Chanterbury Ring's got this energy, what about Sisbury Ring? Old Iron Age hill forts. These are. And what were they before they were Iron Age hill forts? They settlements, you know, for hunter-gatherers.
Yeah, but the other place is Shankenbury or what's it called?
Ring.
Chanterbury. That's got there's a lot of legend.
I'm also reading the Neolithic things as well. Yeah,
about the worshipping that goes on there, the not so nice stuff, devil worshipping, that kind of stuff. There's all those sort of stories attached to it, isn't there?
That's right. So, yes.
Yeah. Whereas the other place might not be. I don't know, but yeah.
I went to Chanterbury one night with friends and climbed up the steep way. The place is full of atmosphere, but then you got to understand a lot of it is psychological, of course. You know. You're out in the dark, or not necessarily in the dark, but you're up there, a lonely place, windy, you know, things kick in your subconscious as well.
Yeah, but does a seasoned investigator still suffer from that? Have we become, I consider myself desensitized to that, mate.
No, absolutely. I still pick up, walk in and get atmospheres, even when I'm not looking for it, you know, walking going, oh, what, this is a bit weird, you know. I got that in... When's the recent time? Actually, very well. I went to Hampton Court last year during lockdown. I'm walking into the King's Chamber. You know, obviously, I'm there for the history. I'm not even thinking about anything paranormal. and my head just went really, really heavy head. Then came out, walked out, all gone. I thought, all right, let's check this out. Went back in, walked out, all gone. So what was that? You know, I've had that a couple of times.
I'm talking about fear.
No,
if you go somewhere and you're afraid, then sometimes your brain's going to play tricks on you, that kind of stuff. But if you become desensitized, you're not going to have that kind of effect. So I can go into that ring and I'm not going to be frightened of it. I might be a little bit wary, but not to the point where my brain's going to start playing tricks on me and freaking me out, you know. So
I'm going to do a U line here. I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Go on.
No, I don't want to go in somewhere feeling scared. That's. I want to go in with an open mind, a rational approach, but totally open to anything. But yeah, I wouldn't want to go in scared. I don't know really what that would achieve. That's going. I don't know. That's not for me personally. I'm not saying I haven't been spooked. Of course I have. I think everyone has been. But I would still like to go in with a rational mind. Yeah. But with my consciousness open. Yeah. Consciousness open. There's a comment just around the corner from where I am, and you can choose the atmosphere changing at twilight. But once again, it's getting darker. You know, I'm not saying, but can you see my point? It's getting darker. So psychology kicks in. You know, we are generally afraid of the dark, aren't we? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not. I'm a bit. I already said I'm weird. I'm a bit strange. So don't bother me. I love the dark.
Yeah.
You worried me. But I mean, we've had this conversation before. Why do we do investigations at night when we can quite easily see what we've seen stuff during the day? Some of the most impressive stuff that we've seen has been like broad daylight. I tend to think, darkness. Your other senses are a lot more heightened, maybe, and plus the fact it's atmospheric as well. So I kind of prefer it at night time. But you know, you can do it during the day, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, either or to me. But it's interesting. I remember saying a couple of weeks ago that people who do heavy meditation seem to prefer sort of a 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning time to meditate. That's when your beta. I can't remember if it's beta, theta, brainwaves. Are right there, are right there. They're real strong, really strong, and totally open. We've been raised to fear the dark. Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think so, Anna.
Yeah, I think that's in our genetic makeup, isn't it? Most of us.
I agree with you, Mark, but there seems to be a tangible change somehow. Okay, interesting. Where is that? I don't know what it is. I think nighttime works better. There is less. I don't even go down the left. Personally, I don't go down the less traffic. It depends where you are. It really depends where you are. If you're, you know, there's some properties that are not even anywhere near roads. You don't want too much noise pollution for obvious reasons. I don't personally think there's any difference between doing 10 o'clock in the morning and 10 o'clock at night. That's just, I really don't. You see, if you're going to see a ghost, you're going to see a ghost.
I don't know. I mean, I prefer it. I prefer it at night. I do. I just do. I don't know why.
I've said before. You know, I've been on some investigations when we've been guests of companies, and it's so dark. I could have a spirit standing right next to me, and I wouldn't notice. It's ridiculous. I like a little. When we did Wimbledon Theatre a couple of years ago, me, Mandy, and a couple of other guys, we had very low lighting. It was really nice. It wasn't pitch black. It was very low lighting, very atmospheric, and I quite like that. You know.
But on the other side of the coin, if it wasn't pitch black, I wouldn't have seen what I saw at the National Coal Mining Museum, because that started off, and it was that more impressive that was the only light source. So
was there a tiny light source there? How did you see if it's pitch black?
This is it exactly. That's what made it credible. We saw. Look, I'm going to bore you all with this story. I mean, if you want me to, I can go through the story again for those that haven't heard it.
Would you, Mark? It is a fascinating story.
I can do that. I can't even tell you when it was. It was long, probably about 10 years ago, probably more than that now. Go on, say that first, Nate, before I start waffling on.
Spirit ghost wise, any time of the day is better, but depending on location, yes, nighttime could be better for evidence. But as you said, you couldn't see a spirit standing next to you. I don't know. I like nighttime investigations just purely because it looks good on camera. You know, I'll be honest. I'm just sort of putting it out there. The ghosts don't only appear at certain times of day. You can see it.
And we've said before, you could see one walking down the street and not realise that you've seen a ghost. That matter of fact, you know. So pretty cool. So anyway, this location that we went to, I think now I've got to cast my mind back and hope I get this right. Most Haunted had done it, and it had been televised. The National Coal Mining Museum in Wakefield, which was a working coal mine, and it's pretty much as if they walked out yesterday. It's all been left, and it's an exhibit. It's a museum now. You can go down to the coal face, which is 450 feet underground, and they've recreated in certain parts what it used to be like back in the day when there was pit ponies. The old stables are still down there underground, right up to the modern equipment. So we were actually the first events company to go in there, other than Most Haunted. And I was working with Phil Wyman at Dead Haunted Nights at the time. Phil's group was the first one to go down there. So myself and about a dozen members of the public, including 2 reporters from the Wakefield Gazette and a miner that used to work there, started down in the lift, which I wasn't happy about. I don't like lifts, especially one of these rickety old mine lifts where you can see the walls going past and the water trickling down. That's really disconcerting.
Oh, God. How Freaky Friday.
I wasn't happy about it anyway. So this particular place that we went to was called the Button Man location. There is a reason for that. So walk through this metal door. The metal door, we closed it behind us and bolted it. And we started walking up this corridor type passageway. And you can see the wooden struts holding the roof up. There's corrugated sheeting just to your left. There's a conveyor belt to your right as you're walking up, more corrugated sheeting on the wall. You get to the top and there's a machine that digs out the coal, throws it on the conveyor belt, and it goes down and disappears through the wall. All right, Sheila. Thank you, Sheila. Thanks for joining us. There's a guy that sits on this machine and all he does is press the button and make them. That's why it's called the Button Man. So we've walked up to the top of this passageway and we're around this piece of machinery. And I said, right, guys, come on, let's have a look how dark it really is. Everybody turned their light off and it was as dark as it gets. Like you say, hand in front of your face, all that sort of stuff. You couldn't see a bloody thing. So I turned my torch on. I said, right, let's orientate ourselves so that we're looking down the passageway. We'll turn our lights off again and we'll ask out, see what happens. So we did that. We're all facing down towards this metal door, which is probably 60 to 100 meters away. And a woman, I said, come on, guys, you know, it's your investigation. It's your night. Who wants to ask out? Well, one of the women was brave enough to start saying, come on, if you're there, show yourselves to us, show yourself as lights, any way you want to do it, do something to us, all that sort of spiel, the old stuff. Well, as soon as she said it, lights appeared down the bottom by this metal door.
And are we pitch black still?
Still pitch black.
Wow.
Absolutely pitch black. There is not a speck of light anywhere. And these things, I can only describe them as fireflies. And there were lots of them dancing around. Well, I'm trying to rationalize this, Mr. Scientific here, right? Somebody's farting around here. Someone's got a laser pen or something like that. There wasn't. There was nothing. So the dancing around, I'm thinking, can you get fireflies underground in a coal mine in Britain? I didn't bloody know. Anyway, they all disappeared as quickly as they'd appeared. So I said to the people, did you all see that? Tell me what you saw. They all confirmed what I'd seen. And I said to the woman, right, ask again. So she said, right, okay, if that was you, thank you for that. Can you do it again for us? These lights just appear, they're dancing around. So I said, right, wait here. So I goes, bombing off down. I put these torch down to the ground and I can see these things. I goes bombing down the corridor. And one of these lights shot up towards my face and disappeared. And all the others disappeared at exactly the same time. So I'm trying still to rationalize what I'd seen. I still couldn't believe it. There's got to be a logical explanation for that, surely. So I turned around, went back up and joined the others. So I said to the woman, right, one more time, because if this is a fluke, you know what I mean, or someone's messing around, something's going on. And I said to the coal miner, have you ever seen anything like this before? He went, never, never have I seen anything like this. So I said to the woman, right, could you ask out again for us one more time? Which she did. If you're there, show yourselves. Well, as soon as she said it, halfway down this passageway, lit up orange, like a dim orange glow. You could see one of the wooden uprights, and you could see a nail with a piece of Hessian rag hanging on it. And the Hessian rag was fluttering in the breeze. Well, it weren't a breeze. We couldn't feel a breeze. There's no movement of air underground at all. Yeah. And we could see it fluttering. And as true as I'm sitting here, and I'm not lying to you, you can check my facial expression, all that sort of stuff, see if I'm bullshitting, I'm not. A head came through the wall and stared at us. Went back in, came out, stared at us, and popped back in, literally like that.
Oh, that would have, yeah. I took scared. Off. I would have freaked out.
Well, I took off towards it, annoyed that somebody is mucking around. These people have paid good money to be there, and somebody's farting around. They've staged. It's a setup, obviously. Yeah. So I've run down here with my torch on. I've hopped over the conveyor belt, and I'm tugging at this corrugated sheeting where this nail was to try and get it away, because obviously it's a setup. It flaps open and someone's put their head through. Well, it was bolted solid to the wall. It was all solidly bolted. So I said to the guys, can you come down where I am, please? You know, and I said, right, everyone needs to tell me what they saw. They all experienced exactly the same thing. They saw the same thing, this guy with a beard. And the guy that used to work there said, well, there's something quite interesting happening here. And I said, what's that? He said, well, all those corrugated sheets that you can see is solid rock behind them, except that one that we put there when we opened this up as a museum to cover up a trackway that we used to use to ferry equipment. I haven't got a clue to this day what that was, Mark.
One of the best stories.
I still don't
know. It's up
know.
there. I've got a couple of from friends like yourself and Mandy have given me some intriguing stories of apparitions. What's interesting there is it didn't sound like a ghost because actually staring at you or looking at you.
It was aware of us, yeah.
So it could be spirit, you know, as opposed to just a recording. So, yeah, absolutely fascinating, that story.
But it's like we was going back to what we were saying about seeing a ghost in broad daylight. It looked like a person farting around trying to scare us. And I went running towards it like an idiot. And I'm tugging away at this corrugated sheeting to try and find the bit that was unbolted that he could have flat back. It was bolted solid.
I've asked psychic friends of mine to say, you know, if you see an apparition, my friend Victoria sees them. I say she sees them. She's only like 24, I think. Yeah, she's been seeing them since she was a kid and sees a lot of them. You know, and I said, can I? And I always like asking these questions. I said, what do you see if you see me? But you're what do I? As opposed to me, what do you see when you see a spirit? What do they look like? She goes solid as you, but there's a little bit of a shimmer. A little bit of a shimmer. I thought, okay, that's good. I thought about nighttime activity. Maybe spirits absorb energy through the course of the day and then release it at night. A bit like solar panels.
That's a good theory, Mandy, actually. That's a good theory, yeah. Because we all know, I mean, we say we know, from our experience, we know that they draw energy from our electrical devices and even us in order to do stuff, in order to apparate.
Yeah. And me, Nath.
So, yeah, that's a good theory. Absolutely.
Actually, I'd have been running the opposite way. And we're terrible paranormal investigators. We want to see this stuff. You go charging in. I love that. And we'd be like, no, that would have been awesome. Because also seeing something like that totally changes it. I say if you do see it, you're lucky enough to see a ghost or really good contact spirits, it can be life-changing, I think.
It's a game changer. Absolutely. I mean, it still doesn't, I'm still trying to rationalize it.
Yeah.
I've wrestled with this for years. Was it mass hysteria? It can't have been. I didn't plant anything in their head to say that in a minute a head's going to come through the wall and stare at you twice. 12 people. Yeah. The 2 reporters wrote about it in the Wakefield Gazette the next day, what they'd seen. So
just think, I mean, imagine you had a night vision camera. You know, I mean, I've still never seen the ghost. As I'm aware, I think Mandy pointed out, how do we know if we are seeing things? But I don't think I have. You know, but I have a phenomena. Still, one of the best investigations. One of our early ones we did with a couple of other groups was at Abingdon Town Football Club near Oxfordshire. It's one of our Sparrow episodes. It's all linked. It's on my channel, and there was a seance going on around, or a communication circle, I like to call them, with hands very lightly on this really heavy wooden table in an upstairs bar. It's on the site of an old Victorian. The football ground on the site of an old Victorian manor. Yeah, and it was dancing around. It loses it on camera, but I saw that table literally all 4 legs off the floor.
That's what table tipping while you're doing a table tipping.
No, they weren't particularly wanting to do table tipping. We were just doing a communication circle,
right?
And it was really heavy. You couldn't just even. We tried to sort of lift it up, and you can lift it up with everybody there, but it takes a bit of effort because it's heavy. But it was literally doing all this. Absolutely. I was just like gobsmacked at that. And I still haven't got any explanation for that one. Also, we're doing the late old medium psychic, Alan, the late Alan. We were doing a group meditation at his shop, his new age shop in Cheam. And I switched my phone off, obviously, because you want quiet. And it went off in my pocket, although I had switched. And people say, "Oh, you forgot." No, I had switched it off, and I turned it off again. All right, look, everyone, it's off. It's off. Why is that ringing in my? Turned it off, put it back in my pocket, went off again, and I took it out of my pocket, and it was still switched off. Still, once again, no idea what was happening there.
Crazy, isn't it? But something similar like that happened to us at Kelvedon, didn't it?
Right, I was coming on to the Kelvedon one. Do you want to do that one, or let's quickly see what?
Well, you did, because I mean, you was there. Mandy was there as well, wasn't she? Mandy was there on that one. Yeah,
Alfie was there as well, wasn't he? I think.
Was she there, Alfie?
Jerry there?
I'm not sure.
Was
she there? The phone incident.
They were at I remember it. Yeah, they were there.
They were, right.
Amazing. Still one of the best things that was. I can't work that one out at all.
No, you talk about it, mate. It was. I think it was our event, weren't it? I think it was one that I was running, and
we ended up on your events. Yes.
See, the weird thing about Kelvedon Hatch is I don't know of any deaths that have occurred there. I don't know if any happened when they were building it, but it is basically, it was the main nuclear bunker that the Prime Minister and all his top knobs would have run to, or her top knobs at the time, Margaret Thatcher, it was in the days of her, would have gone to in the event of a nuclear war. It was on like 3 levels, and it was massive place. And it was actually sort of built into a hillside kind of thing, wasn't it?
That's right, yes.
Sort of a weird setup. But we didn't know of any deaths that had occurred there.
I don't think it has been.
But it's a really bizarre place, and it's got kind of a weird oppressive attitude. You get a bit of a weird oppressive attitude, sort of. But you walk in there, and you go down the long corridor, like a lot of these nuclear bunkers, and then you hit these staircases. And on one of the particular levels is a hospital. Now, all the equipment is still there, and there is power running to some of it because, like the radio, for instance, in the studio is still on, isn't it, Mark? And it's playing this kind of recreation of what the airwaves would be like in the event of a nuclear attack. But we were told, and we confirmed, that there is no electricity in the hospital wing other than the lighting. That is it.
Just apart from just the lighting, wasn't it?
Yeah, so we're in the hospital wing doing our thing, weren't we? How many was there of us? I think that was the occasion we had that weird glass session as well. We did something weird happened there. Maybe Mandy remembers that. But we're doing this thing, and the phone rings on the wall, and it weren't connected.
That little corridor bit, wasn't it? That's right.
Yeah. Just as you come in, and the phone rang, it wasn't connected.
And for some reason, this is the good thing. What I do need, because I use obviously digital cameras now. I used to use tapes, and I can't now convert tapes into the computer like I used to, because I've got a new computer since then. I have got all that on footage on camera, so I need to really find that footage because it was very, very good. I never did that together. I don't know why. But I have that. I remember my camera was running, and I got it all on camera.
Yeah, but
we thought,
weird, mate.
I mean, the owner could have done it, but no.
But it wasn't connected.
That's the problem.
That's the thing. It was dead. You know, there was nothing to it. So I don't know, mate. It's also, a weird one.
If there was someone at error, although as you say, it was not connected, how did they know we were at that particular point at that particular time, and in that location in the lab, in the infirmary?
But it happened at the same time. We had something. We was doing glass divination, I think it was. Now I'll tell you, we did it because this particular group of people was all members of the same team. We didn't have any of the members of the public with us, did we? And you guys trusted each other implicitly, so you decided to do a bit of glass divination, and it was flying round. I can't remember exactly what it was. Hi, Sally.
Nice to see you, Sally. Thank you. Yeah, I'll dig it out, Rick. I will dig that out. I'm sure the guys would like to see that footage. I've got to find a way of converting it. Yeah,
we'll have to do that. But Mandy was saying there was 2 or 3 with us on the glass, fingernails on the glass. It seemed to actually move away from us. I remember something happening with it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really weird. Pauline said, before an apparition of my friend's deceased husband after she showed me the urn with the ashes in. Wow. Was that just you, Pauline? Did you see it on your own, or was you with anybody else when you saw it?
Wow. That could be quite emotional.
Yeah. Hi, Luna. Glad to see you with us. You're right. You decided to join us. We've just been killing time till you got here. You're all right.
Hi, Luna. How are you doing?
So, some weird ones. And nothing ever happened since. Went back there after that 4 or 5 times and never had anything happen there after that.
I'm always impressed with mediumship readings or psychic readings, especially if we shield it. That's why we like working with old Mandy. Old Mandy's with Mandy because she's got nothing to prove.
You're brave.
Sorry, Mandy, I'm so sorry. Not old Mandy. It's like old friend. And with Alan, I'm more impressed when things come out. Well, I remember when a couple of times over the years, both Mandy and Alan kind of things, they wouldn't have known. And and it really takes you back sometimes, That's why I think mediumship readings are always interesting, I told you. Oh gosh, how can you be? Stop this tomfoolery. You look 10 years ago.
Pauline, I've heard of that happen before, actually. Where the hell was we? I think we was at the Galleries of Justice in Nottingham.
Oh, everyone loves that place. I know Mandy does. It's an amazing place.
Brilliant. I never get bored with going there.
No, so many layers.
We was in one of the places that we'd never been before. I've done it probably 5 or 6 times, that place. And we actually found a room that we'd never been in before. So we decided to do a seance. We stood in a circle, held hands kind of thing. And one of the girls in the group just burst out crying. And we're like, "Are you all right?" And she said, "No, can't you see him?" "Oh, no." She said, "There is a guy stood in the centre of a circle wearing a hoodie with the hood up, and he's just staring at me." And she was in bits. Absolutely.
Don't blame her.
Nobody else could see it. Nobody else. But if she was acting, she deserved an Oscar. She was absolutely in pieces. And we had to say to her in the end, just ask him what he wants, you know. So I don't know what you do in that situation. I don't know. But yeah, really weird.
Whoa, that's a good one. I've seen 2 full apparitions from Luna. One when I was about 14. There was an old guy sitting on the end of my bed. Oh, perv. As I sat right up, he just disappeared. Do you know what? When I hear about things, people sitting on the end of beds and things like that to me, that's look. What are they playing at? It's too personal.
I'll tell you one in a minute that would have freaked you out.
Good question from right there, Pauline. Was it a static apparition? My favourite one with Alan was in the farm cottage on the age. Oh, what an investigation that was! I've still got all the footage of that. I've never edited together. My favourite one with Alan was in the farm cottage on the A22, where there's regular ghost sightings. I went in first and cried because of a lady who had died in childbirth and was so sad. Alan went in about an hour later. They were separate and picked up the exact same thing. I hadn't said anything to him. That made me cry again. Annalise had to look after me. Yeah, I remember that.
See that's total vindication right there, isn't it? Yeah. 2 mediums picking up on exactly the same thing, and you haven't had. Now, if you say you hadn't spoke to Alan about it, I believe you, because I know you and I knew Alan, and I know you guys wouldn't do that. So that's really impressive. Really impressive.
I didn't really know Mandy was that good a psychic until a couple of years after we met. Really, I knew you picked up him, but I didn't know how good you were. The other one I saw a little girl cross the road in. Is it Licky Hills? Likely Hills? She walked across the road, oblivious to me, and straight through the bush. It was 9 p.m. dark. You look almost see through. Wow, that's very lucky too. Is that
a like a famous haunting, something like that? Because we got something in Kent similar to that up in Bluebell Hill.
Oh, Bluebell Hill, yeah.
A ghost up there that people like
that A22 one. Yeah, that A22 is the same thing. A road ghost. It's been seen apparently many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one, Gaz, wasn't it? Alan was in the pub. That was so funny. I don't know. That was so funny. Basically, we were there at this old farm cottages, and in the main house doing a reading with Val Hood, our friend Val Hood. And Alan was going to join us later, and he was in the pub with Duncan, my mate Duncan, and they were just pooking him back. And this is a funny story. And then literally they came up. And Alan did like a drink. He did like a drink. I mean, we were like a drink, but he did like a drink. And he turned up at the location, and the other group that we were with who invited us said, "God, can you? We're in the investigation." We go, "Can you smell that? I can smell spirit, liquor, something like that was coming out of Alan's mouth." It was so funny. He was. I mean, he could hold his drink. But it was so funny.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
They're all taking it really seriously, and he came in pissed. It was great. I
did have another experience at it was static. I had another experience at another nuclear bunker. It all seems to happen in nuclear bunkers. I don't know why, because we only knew this particular one. We only knew of one death that actually occurred on site, and they came in the morning and found a sergeant slumped over his desk. He'd had a heart attack. So we was actually, I've got to try and we'll get through these, and then I'll describe the scene for you. I'll try and put you in the sort of mood a bit.
I did bring that up again from Nat. Luna, don't forget the little girl you saw playing with one of the kids' pushchairs in our kitchen. One you heard singing too. Oh.
Can't do an investigation at Nathan Luna's house, definitely.
Is your house particularly old, guys? Not that it should mean anything. Absolutely.
I'm saying today that it is quite active, because it was on Nathan Luna run Uprising Group. If you're not a member, become a member.
Please,
you won't regret it. Great, fantastic group. And one of the questions today was, have you ever lived or do you live in a haunted house, or one you would consider haunted? And lots of people have commented. And it turns out they've got quite an active place themselves. So
she sang along to Stevie Nicks. She has taste. Rhiannon. Everyone loves Stevie Nicks. Although I'm a Storm Roses man myself. Not too old to be. 96 years, okay.
Doesn't matter, Nath. I posted.
And I always say what was on the site beforehand.
Yeah. My new build I moved into I've never had a place like that in my life. I was absolutely terrified. One thing that happened to me terrified me. I was laying in bed, and I always sleep where I used to. always slept with the cover up here, as far up as this, so just the top of my head showing. And I can hear breathing in my room, and I've convinced myself I'm asleep, because you know, I'm sure everybody's done it. They've laid there dreaming that they're laying there trying to get to sleep, and weird things happen. Like one of my favorites is I'm laying there trying to get to sleep, and the covers pull tightly around me, and I'm dragged off onto the landing, and then I jolt awake. God, that was a dream. Thank God for that, you know. So this particular night, I'm laying in bed. This is a brand new house. We've been in there a few weeks, and I can hear breathing in the bedroom. Well, I'm trying to rationalize it. It's somebody else in the house. The sound is carrying, and I'm just freaking myself out. Well, the breathing came closer and closer and closer till it's here, just the other side of the quilt, and it's noise. So I've lifted my arm up. I'm thinking, if they find out I'm awake, somebody's got in my room. If they find out I'm awake, it's my lot. So I lifted my arm up. I thought, right, if I get the first punch in, I'm going to have at least enough time to get out the room, away from wherever these nutters are. So I've done that. Bang, flew up. Nothing. Absolutely nothing there. Brand new build. So, yeah.
So another theory about these nuclear bunker hauntings. In reality, people had taken on a massive responsibility to design, build, guard these top secret places. Maybe they're keeping their word even after they die. You know,
yeah.
Official Secrets Act and all that kind of thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
One ones I've written down, probably there's a lot more actually. I'm thinking, oh yeah, I've never really talked about that. No, I might not actually. The time I got taken over.
Shall I talk about the nuclear one, the other nuclear bunker?
Would you? I'm going to quickly go. If everyone doesn't mind, go and check in on Mother, make sure she's all right. Is that all right? I'll be back in about 30 seconds. Not very professional of me, I know.
He's going for a poo again.
No.
He's off for a poo break.
I want to hear this story as well, though, but I'll be right back. Okay, you're right, Gaz.
Yeah, go on, no worries.
Won't be 2 secs.
So this place is it's called RAF Hampton, and it's still part of it is an active RAF base, as we found out when the military police came up with all their lights on, asking us what we were doing. We assured them that we had rented that part for the night and we were going to investigate. So they were happy, but that was quite unnerving. Now this place is it's basically a radar station for the east coast of England. There is bases dotted along. All this high-tech, top-secret radar back in the Cold War was used to detect launches of nuclear weapons from Russia, that kind of thing. So it looks like a little bungalow from the surface. Nothing special. You wouldn't, by satellite, you wouldn't point that out as a base or anything like that. You go into this little bungalow, and it's like an entranceway that we used as like a crew room where people were having cups of tea, that kind of thing. You go down 4 staircases, and you've got the tunnel. Go for a big set of metal blast doors, up the tunnel, through another set of metal blast doors, and then there are 2 levels. You've got the first level, and then you go down to the second level. Well, this particular team I was with, we started off down on the second level, went into this first room. I'll try and describe it for you. It's a bit like an auditorium. There's seats all along one side, a big wooden partition that they could fold back, and it would all the people in the offices could see what was going on in this auditorium, because the seats here, the partition behind, and then there's a pit with a big map of Great Britain with lights. Okay, so don't know what they use that for, but anyway, it was there. That was the setup. So we went in there, all the lights went off. It was dark. It wasn't pitch black. You've got the emergency light things were lit up, so there was a little bit of light there. And we're asking away, and we can see through the cracks in the partition. We can see someone moving around. There's a guy. He's actually in the RAF. He's kind of the custodian of the place, and he's got a little room about 20, 30 yards down the corridor where he sleeps. He stays there the night. He's got his dog in there. So we can see him moving around through here, and he's rustling papers and all that kind of stuff. And we're thinking, right, I'm going to have a word with him, because people, again, have paid their money, and he's kind of messing it up, you know. So 45 minutes we're asking out, and noise, rustle. So I said, right, guys, okay, go and get ourselves a cup of tea. So if you just head back up to the crew room, I've got to go and have a quick word with, I can't even remember his name. But anyway, so I went and knocked on his door, and I said to him, I understand you're probably busy, you got things to do, but that sound was really carrying, you know, so can we try and keep it down a little bit? And he looked at me, gone out. He's like, what noise? He said, I've been laying on my bed there. James, his name is, and he is straight as a die, this guy, absolutely straight as a die, you know. So he said, where was the sounds coming from? I said, from the offices, the other side of the partition. The light was on, and we can hear all the newspaper rustling and all that sort of stuff. And he said, come with me a minute. Walked up the corridor, turned right, through a set of locked double doors. He unlocked them and showed me the offices that weren't there anymore. And the floor isn't even there anymore. It's just a pit
Wow.
of dirt. There's no electrics in there, so we couldn't possibly have seen a light on. So, okay. Now, I've done that place lots and lots, because it was quite local to me, and it was very, very well priced. So I think the first time I went in there was, again, with Phil Wyman, with his group. So we went and got ourselves a cup. Sorry, this is a bit long-winded, but it's really impressive.
No, go for it. Go for it. We'll come to the comments in a minute. Yeah.
So we went and got ourselves a cup of tea. So we decided that we were going to stay on that level and go to the room where the guy was found dead, slumped over his desk the following morning. Well, they call that now the weapons of mass destruction room, because there is an old nuclear warhead there, obviously decommissioned, but the nose cone of a missile is there. You know, you can see it in the middle of the room, and there's all these displays on the wall of like biological suits and things like that. So what I usually did, we walked in, we did a standing seance. Now, obviously, this is a nuclear bunker. It's absolutely solid. Thick walls, thick floors and ceilings, okay? So we're standing there in a circle. Everybody can see everybody else. They can see if anybody breaks the circle. In the dim light, you can see everybody's feet. I've got a dictaphone over in the corner, a sound digital voice recorder over in the corner on the floor. And we're asking out, doing the usual, if you're there, can you tap twice, blah, blah, blah. You never expect to get taps. We started getting taps. And we got taps for half an hour. Direct questions, direct answers to those questions. You know, one tap for yes, two taps for no, that kind of thing. So we thought that was really impressive. You know, nobody was tapping their feet. We could have seen it. Nobody was banging on anything. There was nobody else in the room, nobody else on that level. So brilliant vigil, that, guys. Thanks so much. That's great evidence. You know, I've never actually experienced anything like that before. So we'll go on to the next location. We just go up. We used to have lots of cups of teas back then, every sort of 45 minutes, because people got tired, because it was those particular investigations went on till like 6 a.m. Yeah. So it was a long old night. So I've picked up the voice recorder, and I'm walking back up the tunnel, and I'm listening to it as I'm going. And I can hear myself asking out, is there anybody there? Can you tap twice for us? Just so that I could see if the voice recorder had picked up the bangs, which it had. Halfway through one of my sentences, I hear Gary on this bloody voice recorder.
It's always that kind of Gary, not Gary. Hi.
No, it was that exactly.
Have you still got that recording?
Oh, I wish, mate. I wish. No, I stopped dead, and I went as white as a sheet. I said, "Are you all right?" I absolutely crapped myself. And that's the one and only time, the two times on the same occasion, the same night, that I ever got anything at that location. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So it was the same with that, same with Kelvedon. You go there loads and loads of times, and only on one occasion do you ever get anything. Why?
I know.
Why
I
is
think
that?
it's an interest. That's a really interesting take, actually. Wouldn't it be great if you had a location that we had access to, or an investigators can have access to 24/7 and do what you've just said? You might get nothing happening for 3 months. It's suddenly one night, but it doesn't mean you stop there. Then you carry on. It's a location you have access to, and you can use it all the time. That would be great. Do you have a few of the comments? We're just a little bit behind the comments here. Andrew Norris is in Croatia. He's from South London, near me. There's a part in this village known as a Turkish graveyard. Years ago, my neighbour's father owned land around here and planted a vineyard. As they were digging, they occasionally came across ancient jewellery and old bones. One evening, the father and my friend, his daughter, watched as an apparition leapt over the rows of vines. Wow.
Yeah.
No explanation offered. How do they know it was an apparition, though? What? Or did it disappear? Or was it some?
Was it translucent?
Yeah. Wow. I hope they left their bones and jewelry in place. Yeah. Maybe moving those. They shouldn't. I think I never understood that
sort of stuff. Yeah.
When people move, graves, or for example, in Egypt, there's sort of tombs of mummies and that, and people still, in museums. Why aren't they in the ground? Just because someone died 2,000 years ago is no different to someone dying yesterday. Still because you have that respect. I've never understood that.
Yeah.
Where are we up to? Sorry, I've got to find out where we're up to. I've got to find where I was.
Sorry, me waffling as usual.
No, it's really good. Whoa! Hence the leaping spectre. Maybe Rick, yeah. That's definitely a completely mind-blowing story. Well, like yourself, he is an expert. You're a group expert. I love that.
The thing is, guys, it sounds like I've had a lot of activity. I've got some good stories, but I've been doing this for donkey's years. Sometimes 2 investigations a week, every week, and probably less than 1% of the time do you get something like that happen.
Yeah.
So it doesn't happen very, very often. Yeah,
I mean, if you, for example, you live at work, you're at work, you're in maybe an office, you've got your own office or something. Have a little dictaphone, just do a little calling out. It'll work. It doesn't have to be in an old manor house.
That's right.
You could be quite surprised, actually. And it turns out you do throw up some sort of activity, I guess. Yeah, that could be. It's also the era where people dug for sand for house building when they found bones with wire tied around the wrist. No one dug for sand there anymore, I bet. Oh, that's fascinating, Andrew. Absolutely fascinating. Yeah, sounds ominous, yeah. Could the date be significant, maybe? Just a couple of 100 meters from the graveyard, archaeologists have been uncovering a 6th century church and perimeter wall. This is the oldest church found in the continental part of Croatia. Wow. Because I love old churches.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Could it be that spirits somehow connect with a specific individual, frequencies and all that? Yeah. Like a magnet and frequencies.
We could have just been the right kind of group, Mandy, couldn't we? So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, can I just point out, that's very interesting. I see some groups say, different people. We pretty much got the same group we had from 2008 onwards. We've had people come and go, of course. It's pretty much the same people, We don't do the dramas, that's why. Yeah, I like that one about spirit frequencies. I'm very much, what's Nikola Tesla say? You want to understand the universe, you need to know about frequency, vibration, and energy.
Yeah.
And that's so true. This is truly fascinating. Thank you. Well, it's thanks to you people and your fascinating comments. I've been filming this for the past 10 years. Go out there with the dictaphone, see if you can capture anything. That'd be very interesting. Crazy story, guys.
Yeah, that unnerved me.
I bet it did.
Yeah.
I bet it.
Yeah, when it's personal. Yeah.
But it's never. This is what I'm saying. I'll come to you in a second, Nate. Sorry, mate. It's never like Gary. Right.
No, Gary. That was something. That was either something. Now it ain't always got to be evil. The TV shows they just concentrate on the nasty and the evil. if I was a ghost, I would freak somebody out just for a giggle. All right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was what happened. If it was the spirit of the guy that was in the RAF, and he thought, I'll make that smug git jump. You know what I mean? And he's done it like that, quite possibly. So, but it was freaky at the time.
It could have been that if the energy repeats every 3 months, you just happen to catch it on the right night. But that doesn't explain how the creepy voice knew your name, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't like to repeat it, to be honest.
No. That possession of Mummy's Mark. Oh, yeah. He assumed it was an apparition because the vines were pretty high. Okay. And also, it must have been sound. Was there sound? See, there's lots of questions you could ask about that. You know, what time of day? Was there any sound? Was it solid? Hello, hello, Nigel. We're Nigel. We're talking about Thunderbirds, the classic Jerry Anderson TV series. How are you, sir?
Yes, Thunderbirds. And is it wrong? I've got the hots for Lady Penelope.
Yeah. Who hasn't? And she's a puppet. They didn't know who the person was. Everyone knows everyone in the village. I suppose, yeah, in those kind of communities, which you know so well, they probably do know each other. And yeah, so where did you come from? Wow, that's really, really, really interesting. That's kind of what I meant. Gary. Cheers, Rick. Gary. We're all going to do that now. Every time I say it. All right, Gary. Nigel said, oh, yeah, here. Here comes the man's. Weird voices like that could be because they use a different type of energy to talk than we do, or like when you are talking to a very old person, it takes lots of their energy to make a sound. I've explained that really badly, but I know what you mean. Or a lot of people who have sort of sometimes it's communicated just through the mind, and they don't actually use any sort of ghostly vocal cords at all. So yeah. Because they're in another place now. It seems very human thing to do is talk through your vocal cords. So,
I need to do a lot more research on that. Why these digital voice recorders pick it up and play it when we can't hear it audibly ourselves. Yes, it may be out of the range of human hearing, but usually only dictaphones with low-level microphones will pick up infrasound or something like that. I
bought a new one recently. Yeah, bought a new one recently.
Why does it play it back so that we can hear it if it's picked it up out of the range of human hearing? I don't get.
That's why pets can pick up on things. No, pets, we talked about that before, haven't we?
So we need to do a little bit more research into that.
Journey to the Far Side of the Sun was a great Jerry Anderson project. It was 1969. A lot of the props and models and some of the actors went on to appear in UFO in 1970. Mirror world type of scenario. Yeah. Sorry, we're talking about Jerry Anderson thing here. That's fine. Maybe he was whispering into the microphone. Yeah.
It was kind of a whisper, but I think I'd still have heard it the way he said it. I don't know, but we hear that all the time, though, don't we? I've kind of answered my own question here, and he was whispering, and it was kind of a whisper, but
it's like, Gary, I don't want to disturb these other people, but just want to say hello. You know, it could have been that. It could have been that.
Oh, it was pretty freaky, you know. No.
Oh, God,
Somebody else's name, but no.
If you haven't already, guys, I mean, we've got 21 watching. Thank you very much. Please like, subscribe. Please join the group, which is great. And Uprising and Paranormal Investigation group as well that Nate runs. Look, Rick's going to do it all the time now and go, Gary.
I'm just going to ignore you now. I'm not, no. Just, why are you even trying to upset me now? You know, it's just, no.
I'm going to take my dictaphone to work, actually, and see. I'm working in a historic building. Not that should make any difference, but there's been lots of activity there. And just see what I get out with, during my working day.
If you get something come back saying Gary, then I don't want to hear about it. Thank you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine if the voice had shared it as loud as possible. That would freak everyone out. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it was just, if it was something else it had said, I'd have been made up. But it was the fact that it said my name. I weren't happy about that.
Has anyone ever, slightly differently here, has everyone had this? Two things. Can I cover something slightly different? When you're dreaming, I found a scientist came out with a really fascinating theory that when we're dreaming, we're actually accessing other universes. That's why it's very familiar, but not. You know what I mean? And you're thinking, why am I here? Or with people you haven't seen for ages, or whatever. But have you ever been asleep, but very prominently, very vocally, someone's called your name, you've woken up? Have you? Has anyone had that? I've had that quite a few times, and it really is Marq. What?
Yeah, massively. I'll never. Oh, why did I open my mouth now? Oh, drop myself right in there, haven't I?
That's it. I might change your. I might have to change your name on the thing. Gary.
I'm gonna get a T-shirt done there, aren't I? Like, yeah.
When I'm snoring, you shouldn't be snoring, sir. Breath work, young Darren.
You're right, Darren.
UKPN radio people. You shouldn't be snoring. No one should be snoring. We're the only mammal that snores. Oh, us and bulldogs. I don't snore because I'm a nose breather.
Darren, he's
lovely guy.
A lovely fella. He is one of the original co-hosts of UKPN radio with me back in the day.
And we did loads of stuff, didn't we?
I met him at that Kelvedon Hatch event. Him and Stuart. That was the first one they ever did with us. And we hit it off, and the rest is history. So
I did a really good Hellfire Caves with you. We did I got a really good promotional photo I took of you guys, which was at the old
Brighton Police Hills.
No, it was upstairs in the Barnard Place in East London.
Barnard Place?
Oh God! I hate when I can't think of something.
It's age.
No. It's the museum. The old. I've gone blank now, so forget that.
Which part of London? East London.
East London.
Ragged School.
Thank you. Ragged School Museum.
Mandy, got it.
Ragged School. Wait awake. Thank you, Mandy. Yeah, that's what me and Mandy done that a couple of times, haven't we?
I didn't realise we did all that together. That one.
Yeah,
did we all do that one together?
Yeah, look, I woke up in a creepy dream. Someone whispered, "It's us." I jumped awake. It's us. Oh,
yeah. I'm not surprised.
I went to hospital with tummy ache and came out with 6 babies. I woke up shouting, and I can't look after 10 children. I really hope there is in the universe somewhere where I'm trying to do that. Oh God! My dog snores. Yeah, animals generally don't snore. Unless they've been bred. Guys, I'm really into breath work. Really into breath work. I've been studying it for about 2 years now.
Really what?
Breath work. Breath work. How you breathe.
Something else.
No. Breath. What do you think? Breath.
Oh, okay. Right. No, that's cool. Yeah. Whatever floats your boat, mate. You know.
Breath. Breathe through your nose, guys. Don't breathe through your mouth. Breathe through your nose.
Right.
That's what it's designed for. The dreams I've had are in colour. I didn't remember swatting a marvelly worn yellow skirt the other day. Fantastic.
I don't know if I dream in colour or not.
Flipping, I thought he said breath. I'm sorry, no,
breath. I thought he said he's well into breaths.
Wim Hof method, all that kind of stuff. I'm into breath work. Yeah, same here, love. But I'm talking about breath in this case. We don't want to bring the turn of this conversation down.
I was behaving then. I didn't want to go there, but you went there.
Thank you, Lynn. I'm going to do a video about breathwork soon. I've done a couple of them. I dream in 4K. I dream in 8K.
Cool, I don't even dream in HD. Mine's got definitely bad reception, my dreams.
Yeah, I don't dream that often. It's usually in the morning before I wake up. I'll send you a recording of my snoring dog. Okay. Oh, bless. Love animals.
They do snore, Mark.
Huh?
Dogs do snore. Big time.
Yeah, but they're usually domesticated dogs. But generally animals in the wild
Oh right, yeah. I know. My dogs were terrible, snoring and farting.
I can tell you a whole reason why we snore, but it's not about paranormal, so I won't.
No.
But I might do a video about it. Yeah, that's why humans got crooked teeth. No animals in the wild have got crooked teeth. I definitely dream in color. I dreamt I split my middle finger in half, all the way down to the knuckle. Woke up holding my finger, trying to stop the blood. It's weird. I can't see people's faces in dream, but I know who they are. Their faces are always blurred. Ah, okay.
Have you tried researching why that is, Luna? I wonder.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
What that actually means, because a lot of people, they're like dreams have got meanings, haven't they? Apparently. So yeah, I'll be interested to find out. Every time
they're always blurred. Do you see yourself in the dreams, Luna? And are you blurred? Is your face blurred? If you see yourself, it's really snoring. Yes, sleep apnea they call it. It's contribute. I see it like a log me.
But no, dreams they fascinate me because science still doesn't know what it is. It's just one of those things, isn't it? We still don't know what they are.
I fully believe dreams have meanings. Yeah, I love this scientist saying that they think you're actually because your mind is totally open. Sorry, your consciousness is totally open. As you go into real deep REM, you're actually experiencing other dimensions. I thought it was quite an interesting theory. Yeah, I don't see myself ever. Okay, interesting. So maybe it's from a POV point of view, ambient ASMR.
ASMR.
Yeah, so sound things.
Oh, is it technical stuff?
Yeah. There's weird videos on YouTube where women just sort of go up to camera going, I'm doing this. I'm washing my hands in a very soft, focused voice. It's very weird. It's all sort of meditative and that kind of thing.
Is it?
Yeah. It's all to do with sound healing.
Yeah?
Yeah. Honest.
That's weird. Just sounds freaky to me, mate.
No.
Someone will come up to me and went, I'm washing my hands.
Oh, no. They're quite sultry the way they do it. They're sort of young ladies. Yeah.
No, whatever blows your hair back.
Yeah. They foog? What's that? What's that, man?
The fuck? Is that...
What the fuck? Right.
Yeah, that's what...
Sorry. I only died. What the... Sorry. Language, please. I was spiraling out of control. Oh, here we go. Scientists know that scientists know why we sleep, but they have no idea why or how we dream. So it really could be that an out of body experience, where we see parallel universe, which would explain why things are always a little off. So like familiar worlds, but different worlds. Yeah. I'm fascinated by it. Fascinating. I like sleeping anyway. I could sleep for England, me.
I found myself wondering.
Did you?
Today, and I don't know why I thought this, but I did. Do dreams have mass?
Well, if you're having an out-of-body experience... Oh, God. It depends if you're there
keep you awake tonight, wouldn't it?
Do dreams have mass? It's what I was saying about ghosts a couple of weeks ago. I think last week. I keep saying this. People see a ghost. Light photons are hitting that apparition. So it's got to have some sort of mass. Or
is it creating its own light? Creating its own photon? I don't
know. No, you can't. A thing can't create light. Photons of light are everywhere,
Yeah. But that particular spirit, if it has gathered energy in order to manifest, would it create its own photons? Would it emit its own light, kind of thing? We are here to ask the difficult questions, folks.
That's a difficult question. Could it going out what Mandy was saying, that drawing the energy off electrics and
exactly, yeah.
But then again, people see ghosts out in the open in the middle of the countryside. We don't have the answers, guys, but we like to ask intriguing questions.
Oh yeah, keeps us awake at night. We love it.
Yeah, Rick, I agree, Nat. Yeah, it's a very interesting question. Here's a question: Has anyone ever seen a ghost in a dream? Oh, now you're complicating things, young man. Have you seen a ghost in a dream? Once again, we could well have, but not know it's a ghost. There are gravitational concerns and gravitational waves within dreams. Yeah, but Sally said very rarely remember dreams, but the ones I do stay with me for years. Really odd. Yeah, I've got little snippets of stuff from years ago that I remember. It's like that thing. I think was it shown in your group the other week about as children who remembers flying, being able to fly. Was that in your group? It's a really I had something I hadn't thought about for years. But I remember
it was,
5 or 6 years old, or 3 or 4. I could just jump up in the air and stay in the air, and I have no. And it's actually just up the road here. I don't understand what that was. I'm reading Shiny Schuster's latest book. It's called The White of the Soul. I Google it. Apparently, it's 20. Google it. 21 gram. That's been slightly debunked, but I've heard that 21 gram thing again. Yeah, it is interesting. The weight of the soul. Yeah, they did when you have out of body experiences, which we're going to do. You know, that's we've covered that. I know, but did we cover out of body experiences before? No, I think that would be a good show to do.
I don't think so. Not in depth, anyway.
Really, yeah, I'm quite interested in that. We'll have a look into that.
Yeah, I know that the weight of the soul thing. They actually had somebody that was on a table, and it was a scale as well, wasn't it? And this person was close to end of life, and he showed a certain weight, and as he died and the soul left the body, whatever you want to call it, the weight dropped by 21 grams. So that's where they got that measurement from.
Yeah. There's other contributing factors there, though. I had a dream where a skeleton ghost was at the end of a skeleton ghost was at the end of your bed. A dream. Well, I really remember doing it too. Okay, sorry, I've gone quiet. My mum and I both have had the same we both had the same recurring dream. We both started talking about it. The husband stopped us, told us to write it down and then compare what we had written. They're pretty much identical. Isn't that fascinating?
See, I've heard of reoccurring dreams, and I have them regularly.
So not only 2 people, but recurring as well.
People
wow,
having the same recurring dream. Yeah,
that's really interesting, Mandy. So it's not just like you've had a one-off and you had the same dream, because you probably wouldn't have known about it. You had the same recurring dream. How did you have that sort of conversation, say, to work out that you'd been having it? That's really interesting. Luna, I've had some very odd dream experiences. I've dreamt someone was going to die and someone else did, but ask now. Every time I've dreamt someone died, we panic now because somebody always does. Never the person I dream about, though.
Weird, isn't it?
Oh God, where should go? See, dreams seems a very popular conversation point. Maybe the air in his lungs took some space and weight in his body.
I don't know if that would have shown on scales, but see, people have actually said that when you die, you evacuate your fluids and things sometimes, but it would have still shown up on the scale, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It still would have been the same weight. So I don't understand why it would have dropped by 21 grams. I just don't know that. So
that then begs the question, which most people I thought would think is not: does consciousness, the soul, split consciousness, have a slight mass?
This is the thing. Do dreams have mass? This is what I was saying. Do thoughts have mass? We've got to picture that in our head, or we know it's bioelectrical or whatever electrical you want to call it. It's electrical, but we have to. We can create a world inside our brain, a picture of the world. If somebody said, I saw such and such today, your brain conjures up a picture of that person. Do those images have any kind of mass? Sounds like a silly question, but...
No, it's not. It's a bloody good question, if you ask me. Yeah. I went to sleep in a dream and woke up... Sorry, I went to sleep in a dream and woke up in that dream with an annoying feeling on one side of my mouth. I checked and started getting a rose thorn bramble, like creeper, out of my mouth, and I woke up. Oh, mate.
Wow.
I really remember a recurring dream when I was a kid. They always happened randomly, but it was always the same dream of me running on a loop throughout a huge house. Or running on a loop throughout a huge house.
Wow.
We both had the dream when I was staying at hers. I started talking about it because it was quite disturbing. She started talking about hers, and that is when Andy stepped in and gave us pens and paper. Write it down, women.
See, why does our brain? Why do we keep having like Naif's recurring dream and Mandy's and her mum's? You know, we get.
Yeah, I've never had a recurring dream, so I don't know, but it's very, very common. Very common.
Oh, I get them constantly, and it's always the same thing. Always the same thing, and there's no reason for me to be thinking about that. It's just really strange.
Could just be something that has an effect on gravity, so that it would appear to be having mass. Okay, let's think about that. That's another good point that then connects to what Gaz was saying. Gravity, gravitational waves, gravity, which then begs the question, which no one's ever asked ever in the whole theory of paranormal research. If a ghost appears, why are they? It's gravity keeping them where you saw your ghost, Gaz, for example. Let's use that as an example. You saw that ghost. It is, let's say, not tied to our reality, but gravity is keeping him in that exact position as the Earth is going through space around the sun. What's keeping him here? What is keeping me here? It's got to be some sort of gravity. Does everyone understand what I mean, or am I going really tangent here? But I've always thought that. So, say for example, there's any oh, I need to say the word there, but any apparition you see, it must use some sort of force to keep it still in a space where we can see them. Like Mandy, with your story, with when you had the double witness of that chap at your work, what's keeping him there? Is it gravity? Because he's not part of our reality,
or is it a projection? Is it a projection? Holographic, not holographic, but the stone tape theory kind of thing.
Yeah, which I don't personally buy into that, but because you say you can see ghosts outside, you know, in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, you've I think, Gaz, you've opened a really, really, really important question. I think that's an important question. Oh, I'm going to think about that. All right, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
So I have that one. I still have that one, and so does she, a few times a year. Okay. How long has that been going on, Mandy? If you don't mind me asking. The thorns were spiked, so the creeper could be removed with some conviction. Oh, yeah, good old electromagnetics of EMF. Yeah, we're all electrical beings. Very true. Makes sense. Consciousness could itself be an effect like gravity that works together.
Yeah,
but I don't think consciousness is non-local, which means we are maybe receivers for something, but our real beings we're going to go back to. That's just a theory, but a lot of scientists are sort of coming around to that idea now. As long as I can remember. Wow, that's very interesting. Not like a couple of years, but as long as you can remember. Okay. God, we've really opened up some really interesting points.
I know we've gone deep, proper deep tonight.
Proper deep. I have a recurring dream of doors opening, then walking towards a light. Had that since a child, Pauline. Okay.
Wow.
I'm fascinated by these recurring tales. So I don't think I've ever had a recurring. So I've had a recurring anything.
See, I think. I mean, I'm a big believer in your dreams have got a lot to do with what you've got going on in your life at a specific time. You know, if you're very anxious, for instance, if I'm anxious about something, I get dreams where I'm being chased by something, you know, and I wake up and I think I've got to calm down about this because I'm not getting a good night's sleep. Stuff's freaking me out, that kind of thing. But then you get these dreams where you feel right as rain and they're just like, proper weird, where if somebody said, what did you dream about, you wouldn't be able to tell them because it makes no sense to you. Proper abstract sort of weird dreams. So weird.
You could also be having those. Yeah, you could also be having those dreams, but don't remember them, or even remember having them. Yeah. I read a report earlier this year that I don't know where they got this study from, but people, because of lockdown. Don't get me started. Because of lockdown, people were experiencing a lot more nightmares because of the situation, and everything, which I found fascinating.
And also something that occurred to me is I think dreams and what you actually dream about has a big bearing on what your mood is like when you wake up and what sort of day you're going to have.
Yes, that's another one, Gaz. You're absolutely right. I don't like mornings. I don't like waking up. I always feel a bit negative in the morning, which should be the opposite. It should be a new day. And I'm very much into law of attraction. I really think your mind creates your reality, and things you don't want probably will happen. You know, you got to keep. And it's about positive thinking. It's more than just positive thinking. It's all about how you feel and your emotions. They need to be together. Your heart is actually another brain.
But you can't escape from your subconscious. Your dreams won't let you escape from that. So
really
whether you think you're fine or you've convinced yourself you're fine, dreams will always pull you back down to earth and make you deal with it. And that is the one way of dealing with it, isn't it?
Yeah, another rabbit hole I'm going to have to go down now. Thanks, guy. Like I needed another one. You suggested it as well. You and Gaz. It's absolutely souls contained with magnetic electric vessels. Where will we store them, though? Have many vivid dreams. Yeah, Luna, I'm with you there with the law of attraction. Yeah, I like to actually law of vibration. I think I prefer that title, law of vibration. You know, it's very hard to. I wish I had. I'm really trying to discipline myself daily to meditate and all that kind. It doesn't always happen. You know, if you work a 9 to 5 or something, when do you do it? I'm not particularly a morning person, so I don't like meditating first thing in the morning.
No, I don't do mornings.
No,
I'm more caveman-ish.
I start at the moment. I'm starting to work at 9:30. Yeah. I get up at 8:30. You know, I've got friends who get up at 5:30 in the morning. Why? Oh, you're either a morning person or you're a night person. It's just the way it is. Hey, here's one for this. Who's a morning person? Who's a night person? Yeah, I could sleep.
I'm definitely not a morning person. No, definitely not.
You have to get up early for your job, don't you?
No. If ever I'm going to commit a murder, it's going to be in the morning. Definitely.
Well, we spent a little morning with you last year at the Butlins thing with you, Mandy, and Al. You were right. I was. Al gets up early. I was
still drunk when I woke up.
I know, so we all were.
That's why, mate. Yeah. Yeah, Gary, have some breakfast. Bottle of Corona. Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Positive vibrations attract positive vibrations. Exactly. I look at some of my friends. I did the experiment. I looked at some of my friends. I didn't ever tell them this, but I looked at them who are quite happy people. I'm generally quite happy, you know. Be a bit grumpy at times, but I'm generally quite a happy person. And I looked at them and they hardly have any real dramas going on in their lives. It's very interesting. Very interesting. I love dreams, no matter how they go. I usually find if something's going well in a dream, it starts to get weird is because I need to visit the loo. Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I liken it. You're going to think I've gone off the deep end here.
Yeah, night owl here.
For me. Right, our planet.
Before you go any further, one thing, Gaz, is I know you're going to say something really deep and it's going to be really fascinating.
No,
I have to get up at 5:30 on my work days, and I bloody hate it. So you already told me that. I feel so sorry for you. I don't exist at that time. I don't function. I get up. It takes me a couple of hours to get awake. I'm just 5:30. That's mental.
Well, I'm up at about 6:15 to set my alarm for. That's early enough.
I wake up. If I know I've got to get up at, for example, 7:30 at something, I don't even need an alarm clock. I'll wake up just before. I've got an automatic clock. That button you saw what kind of morning person I am. It's on video as well, dear, isn't it? That was a good weekend, that was. And I was a bit anxious, wasn't I? Because it was not really my kind of thing, but I actually had a whale of a time.
You let your hair down, mate, at one point.
I've got nothing to do with let my hair down. It wasn't really my kind of thing, but I had a beautiful time.
But at one point, you let yourself go with it and you enjoyed yourself, didn't you? It was really cool. It was really cool.
Cal Cooper. Evening, Mr. John, you for my boss. Now, Cal, did you get that message that I sent you on Facebook to come on the show? You never replied to me, sir. You never replied. What's going on? We want you on the show, Mr. Parapsychology. There's so many questions I want to ask you. Lovely to see you, mate. 5:30 is still night. Yes, it is, Rick. Yeah. I mean, tonight I will probably go to bed about 1 o'clock, probably. 1 o'clock. You start watching Netflix. That's my time to watch things, I can't watch things at 8 o'clock in the evening. I'm doing editing or something. Yeah, that's my time. With a glass of wine, Bob, Bob. Yeah, Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
That sounded a bit common, didn't it? Bob's your uncle. Yeah, I've always
yes. Robert's your mother's brother. Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, I've always been an evening person. Compared to when people get up early and they're still tired. Well, don't get up early. If you haven't got to, why? If you're then they're yawning all the time, then don't.
Well, we do have to. We do have to get up early to go bloody work early.
I know.
That's what
I work in early. I work in industry, yin and yang. You know, in the theatre industry, it's mainly evenings, but we still have early starts for the cleaners and that. 1 o'clock is the time. Yeah. I want to hear Gaz's deep thing also. Bobby's my dad.
Bobby's my dad, yeah.
My bad. I will, send dates. I'm terrible at catching up on messages, locating. Cal, whenever you're free, it doesn't matter. I'll throw some dates in September. We'll get you on. I think that'd be really interesting. That'd be great. Thank you, mate. I'll be in touch.
Definitely. Yeah,
look out for your message, though. Look out for your message, or I'll text you. I thought you didn't want to talk to me. Right, it's 10:15. Should we start sort of slowly wrapping it up?
Yeah, can do. Definitely.
Because we're going to go down a rabbit hole and we'll never be able to climb back out. That's the good thing about it, though.
Yeah, we can do that. Not a.
Oh, does it have mass? Gary, damn you, man. That's such a great question.
Just a question, mate. I'll leave that one with you.
Does a ghost or evil? Well, ghost is one thing. Spirit, consciousness are other things. But do they have any kind of mass?
Yeah, we'll have to think about that one and see what science says. We'll have to do a bit of research on it, what they say about it.
Because there's some very interesting quantum theorists who think outside the box. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look at that, definitely.
Robocop. Oh, Robocop. I'll buy that for $1. Yeah, that would be a really interesting conversation to have, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we'll look into it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's on the internet. Let's just see if it's matched with consciousness. Of course. I don't think there's be a lot of things on that, but I still think I'm very much as consciousness is non-local.
Exactly, Rick. How can it be measured? We don't know if ghosts exist. We don't know. We certainly don't know what they're made of. How can we come up with equipment?
Yeah.
We haven't got
how can we answer something that hasn't been proved? Yeah.
Yes, that's the thing, isn't it? We bloody don't. So
no.
We just like asking difficult questions. So.
I had a pet hamster in my hands. It was always oh bless. So I love all animals. I thought it had peed on me. It hadn't. I believe I felt its spirit leave its body and had a mass. See, there again, that's really interesting. Could you? Let's going back to what Gary was saying. That's another really good point, isn't it? If you're in that right state of mind, that you can feel something.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey. Rabbit hole.
We've gone well deep tonight, haven't we?
Yeah.
We love it.
Spookometer. Next time you do an investigation, take some digital scales with you instead of a dictaphone. Yeah, sort of dictaphones. They have digital scales. Yeah, see an apparition go, do you mind just coming forward a bit? Stay there. Just sit. Can you just stand on this, please? Just want to measure how much you weigh. Cheers. That would be great. Right.
Oh, well, shall we wrap it up there?
I think we should wrap it up, yeah.
We'll come up. We've got a few exciting shows coming up. That
wow. We haven't even mentioned that, have we? We won't mention it yet because it is quite exclusive, I think.
Yes. And it's going to be something that is going to be great fun and a real eye opener, we hope.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to say too much yet until it's 100% confirmed. But it's going to be a really cool one. All right, especially for you guys that are in ufology kind of stuff.
into your UAPs. It's going to be fascinating. I mean,
really cool.
I've got to thank Gaz for that. So yeah, let's get it actually totally confirmed, which this person has. Yeah.
And we'll decide what we're going to talk about next week. That's usually kind of off the cuff kind of thing. We
need to do it. I keep saying we need to do a sort of right. This date we're doing this. This date we're doing this. Yeah. The reason we can't do that is because I work shift work, and be Sunday to Sunday, Sunday to Saturday. So no film of Go's ever going to get in. Oh, that's really funny.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but there will be shows occasionally we can't do on a Sunday if I'm working, because I work in theatre. I'm trying to. I do the rota, so I'm making sure I don't. But if I haven't got the staff to cover, then I can't. Just my overweight here, bummer. Oh.
But no, also it's difficult to set kind of a schedule, because a lot of guests that we get on, it changes so much, like 1 minute they can come on, then something happens and then they can't, and we have to change the date.
Yeah.
So we kind of try and keep it a little bit more fluid. But we will come up with a subject. We will let you guys know.
Thank you, Andrew.
There's lots we've still got to talk about. So thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Thank you, buddy. Hope you have a good time.
Thank you all, really. I mean, it's been great. You never let us down. You always contribute in the chat room there. We really, really do appreciate that.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. I've said to Gaz before, and I've said to you guys before, the comments are so smart. They're really smart things. Everyone's really intelligent here. I'm really, really appreciate it. I'm sure if we get bigger, we'll get the trolls. I'm sure. We've never really had. I've never really had. I'm trying to think. No, I've never really had trolls really in the paranormal world, or well, sort of a troll in a way. Yeah. But generally on my vlog and that, no, I don't understand trolling.
No, don't worry me, mate. Negative. I mean, it's the same as anything else. If they got an argument, it's like hecklers with comedians.
Thank you, Pauline. Yeah.
Shut them up, don't they? I mean,
thank you, Pauline.
Thanks, Pauline. Take care. So yeah, we'll wrap it up there, and we will see you next week. We hope. We really do, and
yes, and we'll see you next week. Thank you very much for all your lovely contributions, and we'll see you next week, 8 o'clock GMT.
You take care, guys. We will see you very, very soon. Bye bye then.
Bye bye.